And we are live at the underground. Let's do it. This is a new song of mine called Few Words. And I'll say for me, and if you hear it, that's fine. 'Cause I'm so afraid that there's nothing on your end of the line. If you got something to say, baby, speak your mind. 'Cause I won't be to understand, but no sunshine. 'Cause you're breathing on your side of the phone is the only reason I'm not alone. And the few words that you live by keeps me company to feel the night. 'Cause you're breathing on your side of the phone. Ooh. Will you say for me, or will you keep acting shy? 'Cause I wanna hear you speak, but you keep your lips still so tight. And if you got something to say, baby, speak your mind. 'Cause it's hard for me to understand, but no sunshine. 'Cause you're breathing on your side of the phone is the only reason I'm not alone. In the few words that you live by keeps me company to feel the night. 'Cause you're breathing on your side of the phone. Ooh. Hush, don't say a word. I'm not asking you to change. I'm just telling you I'm in anything you gotta say. So if your lips break free, it's a wild escape. Now promise your mind is gonna keep you safe. 'Cause you're breathing on your side of the phone is the only reason I'm not alone. And the few words that you live by keeps me company to feel the night. 'Cause you're breathing on your side of the phone. 'Cause you're breathing on your side of the phone. Thank you, brother. That one's called Few Words. My mom thinks this song's about drugs. It's whatever. She got so high, we touched the ceiling. Looking at her eyes, got glass you'll see. She looks so sleek, blinded by the shimmer. You are so sweet, you're very dancer. And I'm very sure, forgetting how very sure, forgetting how very sure, forgetting how very hey. Drawing out so clean, so he can dance. He likes to party late, he likes to start real early. Got no time to waste with no girlie. He got so twisted, his hair got curly. See, I'm moving sure, forgetting I'm moving sure. It's about that's about drugs. This one's called the 12-string hop. I can tell what's him. Like a black leather with a friend, take it off an inch. I can go swinging round and round and round, and I just see it coming. I know you know what you want when it lay down. No sound but out to the zero. How the evening escalates. Cool rain, just takes a taste to make me impatient. Even when my eyes are closed, my hands don't know just where to go. Still impatient. Patient. I can say when I stop. It's when my eyes roll from the top to the bottom. Once got I think I'm a fan of what I'm seeing, but the fans swinging from the ceiling. You know I don't thief whose house you're stealing. Hey, I'm coming away. It takes a taste to make me patient. Even when my eyes are closed, my hands are knows where to go. Do you wanna leave a mark? I told you in the dark. Even being with the one come by. I think I'm a fan of what I'm seeing, with the fans swinging from the ceiling. No matter your thief, whose house you're stealing. Escalates, no gonna wait. It just takes and takes to make me patient. Even when my eyes are closed, my hands are lost where to go. Feeling patient, patient. And how the evening escalates, no gonna wait. It just takes and takes to make me impatient. 'Cause even when my eyes are closed, my hands don't know this way to go. Still impatient. Patient.
Oh, it's getting weird with it.
It's getting real weird. Got about 4 cameras set up in here. 4. I know he's gonna hate me for this, but he's a legend to me.
Don't do this to me right now.
It's Matt Waters
He's
in
so
studio.
sweet.
Anybody that paid attention to the live feed just saw him absolutely funk it out
Trying to with a PH.
with a PH and get funky like Black Eyed Peas.
Yes.
Yes. Boom. Thank you so much for coming by today, man.
You know I love it, man.
It's great. It's fantastic having you back. Last time you were here, we kind of rebranded a little bit. Last time you were here, you were going by the government, Matt Schneider.
Well, yeah. So I think everything in our life is dedicated to getting away from the feds, and so yeah, that's what we're doing.
Evade 12 at all costs. Well, I'm glad to hear that you're staying out of trouble.
Yeah, man. Doing my best to. Cartel found me, but whatever.
As long as they didn't find you.
No, I'm still here.
Good. They just know of you.
Yeah.
Well, that's a great thing.
Yeah.
I guess.
I want to be on their radar.
Everyone wants to be on the cartel's radar.
Pushing some new tracks. Yeah.
Hey, can you throw this in with every deal you make? Just throw in a free tape, please.
The only thing you roll up for the next few weeks with is my new single, and then we're tight.
That's perfect branding. I haven't heard of a better marketing strategy. Getting in with the cartels. That's perfect. You have been making huge moves around the city.
I've been trying to, man.
I know you say you tried to, but I see, from the last time you were here, we heard Love is Love, still playing on the station. Constant great feedback on that.
I'm so glad.
Yeah, man. That was probably the best acoustic set that I've recorded yet, and it was my first one, so that was exciting for me.
Man, that's good to hit it far on the first one, though. I'm so glad that we can do the right things for you.
Absolutely. It just got a lot of great feedback. So tell us about the journey to where you are now, incorporating more funk into music. What's evolved since the last time we heard from you?
Well, so I wrote Love is Love like a year and a half ago, and that was kind of this new transition of like, it was one day I started to realize that what was I missing with my music? I was like, I want my homies to want to come to shows, and I want them to really boogie. It's like, what do I got to do that? I need to listen more to what they're listening to.
Yeah.
And I think that turned into I listen more to what everyone's listening to. My life should be on the outside about exposure, and I process that and I push that out in tunes that people can see where we're all kind of coming from. There's more collaboration with the listeners when you're willing to peep what they're into for the next couple months. So
absolutely.
I don't know. I'd say the first real change since Love is Love is like we were talking about Anderson .Paak.
Mm-hmm.
Like I saw Anderson .Paak on this NPR Tiny Desk concert.
Yeah.
And like,
that's amazing.
Man, I lost my mind at that shit. Like I probably watched it every day for like a month.
Yeah.
And you just start to realize that there's so much sincerity and so much heart in these other genres that you weren't listening to because of one bad song that maybe you didn't get into. It's like
exactly.
Yeah,
that's very true. So Anderson .Paak has been a big influencer.
Anderson .Paak has lit my world on fire. And it's just like, for me, when I watch someone sit down on a kit and then they still got such smooth vocals, but their pocket is just rigid, and it makes me go like, as a guitar player, like, there's only one thing I need to focus on, and it's how their foot's tapping.
Yep.
Because at the same time, like, I got some gigs where maybe I'm catering to the people who are more just hanging out. It's their night at the bar. So like, they don't got to be looking at me, but I watch their feet. And if their feet start moving, I'm doing the right thing.
That's very good tell.
Yeah, exactly. It's all about how you get them loosened up. And once they're loosened up, things start to come around for it. So
for sure.
I'd say my last year, summing it up, is about making the people boogie.
Making the people boogie indeed. Because I had trouble keeping the camera steady because I was boogieing during the last two songs there.
When you get down on one knee, man, it's hard to stay steady because I know that Brendan Davis, he's got hips that are so well oiled that they come off the hinges pretty often.
I'm like the male Shakira. Hips don't lie.
Hips don't lie, but they sure do tear up the people's eyes. You know what I mean? If you put them in that kind of mood, they can't even look no more.
That is about the most accurate description of me I've ever heard in my life.
And these guys back here, they got to see you every day for work, and they see you coming down the hall. They're like, I see you shaking.
I see you working them hips.
I can't trust them to go to the vending machine to get drinks because at the end of the day, like, that thing comes back fizzy.
Fizzy!
Okay.
And these are the best types of interviews.
This is where the metaphors just take over, and by the end, things are so subliminal and tripped out that everyone's disinterested and confused. But
they're like, all right, what are they talking about? I thought they were talking about the music. Now they're talking about pop machines.
Pop machines.
Everything in life is a pop machine if you make it.
Yes. So let's talk about that for a second. Why would it be $1.50 then? Talking $1.50 for a Fanta. I got nothing in life like that.
Yeah, I don't know. We our vending machines acting like everyone here is making 6 zeros on the end of their check. And,
we're talking big money.
But they're not. We're all students here, and $1.50 for Fanta. That's kind of like
that's not what we're about.
That's like Arabian oil prices, just a little too high.
But you know what? If we're gonna talk about the metaphor of the vending machine, then you gotta have friends, because what do friends do when you hit the vending machine? They start shaking on the side, so you might get 2 drinks. And then guess what? You get a share of 2 drinks for 3 people. That's much better than having one for one person.
Exactly. Sharing is caring. Teamwork makes the dream work, and that's how Shrek was made.
Facts. I like the Shrek comment.
Right?
The other day we had a very interesting discussion about Fiona as a character developing by Shrek 3. And I'd say, she's probably not static in Shrek 1. Like, she definitely makes moves. But by the end of 3, she just has your heart in cold grasp.
I never thought I could fall in love with a giant green ogre. But I do love Fiona. I bet no one at any concert venue has ever pulled a Shrek on you and said, get out of the swamp. Any funny stories from any shows that you have to share in the past year?
In the past year, there's been a lot of weirdness, but really quick, there is a situation where, drum mics, you have overheads over top to make sure you can get some of that cymbal bleed, because people want to hear that high end.
Of course.
Sometimes, you really don't want to put that in your monitor in the front, but I'll stand it up by my pedal rig, and I just hear from my drummer, "It's all ogre now," and then he just starts going at it. I'm like, what's up with this dude? So
It's all ogre now.
So Shrek's definitely involved in what we're doing right now.
That's amazing. I'm sure.
As far as the really weird stuff,
Yeah, let's hear it.
like we were playing down in Charlotte, right at the end of the summer, and my bass player Johnny Disco. Johnny Disco is quite the man. If you guys have never gotten to see him, but
Shout out to Johnny Disco.
But like when we're up there, it's like you start to see how people are feeling, the guys in the band, and he had a fan club of frat boys. I'm talking not a pair of sleeves on any of these guys. They're all wearing jerseys, like 10 of them, and they're all chubbies. They're towered around him. And I was like, Disco, take it for a second. And he starts straight bumping on it. I mean, he is taking this to the next level. But then I see him take the bass off of me. He starts using the vent on the ceiling as a slide for his bass.
No way.
And we see it start swinging, and I'm like, Disco, take it easy for a second. He's like, no, and he starts really going at this thing. And the manager standing behind the bar going, cut it.
End it.
And came up to the stage, he was like, we might lose one of those things if you keep playing it like that. So I've never found the band to be a fire hazard, but like we were about to be a fire hazard.
It was a fire hazard. That's probably the most inventive way I've ever heard of a bass being played.
You know what? I like to think he's an innovator, at least.
I would say so. With a name like Johnny Disco, you have to be.
Misto Disco, to the people who don't know him, if we want to go formal.
Misto Disco.
It's gnarly.
That reminds me of a sound engineer I met who goes by, literally, on his brand, Bobby Fobby McFarts.
Bobby McFarts.
But then he rebranded and became Dr. Bobby McFarts, and now he's just the most legendary person that is not famous.
You know what? That's a lot of business cards you got to print. So, like, over 1,000 times he signed off on that and handed that off, and I respect the hell out of it. As long as you know your brand, you know how you want people to call you out in public. Because, like, what if you're going out with a girl and someone just tells you, Bobby McFarts, you got to deal with that at that moment.
What's going on, Doc?
And you still got to win her over.
Absolutely. And I don't know, with a name like that, how could you not win a girl over?
I think the Mick on the end definitely gives a very Celtic kind of feel. So, like, I'd say watch your culturality, but whatever. Yeah.
Dr. Bobby McFarts.
That man drinks Baileys from a shoe.
Yes. Irish cream.
Oh, no.
No, indeed. So that is definitely a weird story with the bass on the ceiling vent. What about a good story? What's the most positive set you've played in the past year?
So we played a set with a group out of Nashville called Here Come the Mummies.
I've heard of Here Come the Mummies.
Here Come the Mummies is like a 10-piece funk band, and they all come out wearing straight toilet paper and latex. And I was all about it from the start. So we played at Bogarts. So it was my first time playing Bogarts. And like,
fantastic.
You know, as a kid growing up in Cincinnati, like that's one of the things you always look at and go like, yeah, I want to be on that wall.
Yeah.
And so we get in there, and everything's just kind of like there's a real calm before the storm. So I get in my Canadian tuxedo. You got to rock full denim when you know you're going to be nervous because people don't see you sweating that. And
Insider tips. Matt Waters.
But yeah, man, I mean, just being able to go out there and like to know where the show's going to be going that night, and to only be able to say like, I just got to push us there. I got to get us there way before they even expect it, so everyone comes out swinging.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, it's just those experiences where you're up there with a group of guys that you really care about. You know, they got your back, and like that's been another big thing for me this year.
Yeah.
The band's taken over so much where it's like I'm just a dude that stands in the front and get to hang out.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, bro.
That's awesome. So if you could go back a year and give Matt Schneider some advice up until now, and I know this kind of might be a difficult question, what would that advice be?
So another thing I've been doing over the past year has been I've started to make different quotes that I really respect, be the background on the phone. Like you don't look at it enough, but like some days you do notice it, and it takes you to the next level. So the first one was Keith Richards.
Yeah, okay.
And it was something like, being a legend's not hard. It's the living part that's easy.
Ooh.
And it was like, for Keith Richards to say that makes you really, really sit back and go like, you know, you're right. As long as I'm willing to push myself, there's nothing that's going to stop me.
Yeah.
Except maybe a fear of people's perspectives and ideas on what I'm trying to do. And as long as I hit as hard as possible, there's no reason for them not to see that.
That's very true.
Yeah. And the next one I've been doing, I changed this the other day. I went to a Bob Dylan quote.
Nice.
And it's new enough that I don't know the whole thing, but from what I'm remembering, it was like pretty much that if you don't dig you, then no one's going to dig you.
Yeah.
And like you don't want to be sitting there trying to get yourself hyped up about what you're doing, but it's like be sincere in your intentions with what you want for people and for yourself and for this whole experience. Like I was telling you, like I don't stress my job because it's the most fun thing in the world. But the only thing I do stress is like I got to give everything I got to these people.
Right. And
so if I don't show up, then I got to do something about it. I got to get my mind right for a week.
Got to show up to show out, as they say.
For sure.
Yeah, man.
That's going to be the next photo on my phone. It's going to be a picture of you. It's going to be a t-shirt that says that I'm making for you.
I'm in. How much investing do you need? Because I'm in.
No, I'm talking me getting a Hanes from the clearance store, and then I'm going to do it in Sharpie.
Iron press.
And then do an iron presser, man. I don't got iron to mess with. I got runny Sharpies. I got 5 of them. 2 of them are going to go out there.
That's amazing. And they're eventually, one day, mark our words here, $1 million on eBay. A hand Sharpie T-shirt with a Brendan Davis quote. But it's an original Waters. That's what we're going to call it.
Watercolors. We can do that. That's nice.
That's awesome. All right, man. Well, always a pleasure having you by. I can say that through all of the musicians and local talent that I've interviewed, you're by far the most genuine and humble dude that I've had the pleasure of coming through these studios. So
you make it too easy to want to come back, brother.
Well, I expect I'm going to take you up on that.
You know I got it. All day.
Absolutely.
Beautiful, man.
Perfect. So right before we go, where can people find you? Spotify, iTunes?
Yeah, you guys can find me on any of the real big streaming platforms. So Spotify, Apple Music. You can get me on YouTube. I'm expanding into SoundCloud, not because I want you guys to listen to me on SoundCloud, because I want sweet rappers to find me and sample that and come back absolutely bumping on my tracks. But, that really just applies to anyone that wants to be kicking it at home. So if you guys got a DAW, start spinning it in there and have some fun. Also, check me out on mattwatersmusic.com.
Perfect.
And we'll see you guys at a show, hopefully.
Absolutely. Social media, Facebook?
Yeah, so Facebook's going to be Matt W Music.
Gotcha.
And then Instagram, Twitter, that's Matt Waters Music.
Perfect. And I know you mentioned you're playing at the Thompson House every Thursday.
I play at the Tin Roof every Thursday.
Apologies.
I got to get in the Thompson House again. The guy who owns that place, I'm going to get a good call after this. I'll make sure we get down there anyway. We don't lie on the air. We just make changes to what we're doing in life.
Exactly. No one knows you mess up if you run with the show.
That's for sure. And also, if you guys are free on Saturday, come down to the Rocket Revival that's put on by the guys in the Grove. It all goes towards brain cancer research. I'd say there's no other event in Cincinnati that has such solid intentions, such an incredible lineup.
Yeah.
And I mean, the Southgate's where the party's at. 3 stages, and it used to be a church. And it gets nasty in that old church. There's some prayers going up, but not the right kind,
So, as we just said, show up to show out, Southgate House, Saturday.
Yes, sir.
What time?
I'm on at 5:15, but, man, there's music from 4 till 2 in the morning. 3 stages, probably like 30 bands.
That's 10 hours of consistent fun. If you don't show up, I'm going to be in Arizona, and I'm going to hate myself for it, but show up. Please.
We'll be sending you love in Arizona. We know you're going to be frying eggs on the concrete and everything.
Definitely. It'll actually be 70 degrees. I'm super excited.
It'll be 70. Their 70 is different than our 70.
It's very true. It's dry. It's horrible. It's like the Sahara Desert on a very, very, very warm day.
I say after this, we go back on the Facebook Live and we take bets on what kind of tan lines you're going to have.
Let's do it.
I'm going to say a V-neck tan line with a very low crop top.
I want a little bit of spaghetti strap, maybe doing I might even rock a crop top down there, seeing how I'm feeling.
Just remember, you got to shave before you go down because you don't want to shave away the tan. You got to leave it out.
That's very true. Another insider tip.
This is gross. We got to get off the air.
On that note, Matt, thank you so much again.
We'll catch you, people.
We'll have you back very soon. 808.